Hello, and welcome to Stats Race Lens. Today, we're going to learn about individual research and just how to customize and use it. Individual research is the way to get the most information about trainers, jockeys, sawyers, and dams in a race. It's sort of like summary research, but just much more detailed. So first, to access individual research, we simply click on the PPs button next to whatever race we want to view. So I'm going to use this first race at Keeneland as an example, and it's a really good example because it's for maiden 2-year-old fillies. So it's a pretty notoriously difficult race to handicap since there's no real past performances. So we'll click on the PPs here. As we scroll down, we see just the summary research here. And then down here, this is the individual research. So to access the individual research, we simply click on the trainer, jockey, sire, or dam's name. And so we'll click on Wesley Ward here. And here we are. We're in the individual research tab. So as we scroll down here, we see that Wesley Ward in the past 5 years with first-time starters on the dirt, he's had 217 starters, 55 wins, 119 in the money. So 25% win percentage, 55% in the money. Really good. That's a really solid win percentage for first-time starters. And as we scroll down here, we can see actually all of those horses individually. So we can kind of see almost a little mini running line of these horses. So we can see Acapulco, he ran on May 8th, 2015 at Churchill Downs in the first race. It was also a 4.5 furlong race. You can see his Equibase speed figure. He came in third by 7 3/4 lengths and had really low odds with Robbie Alvarado aboard in a 6-horse field. So we got tons of information, and we can see that for literally every single one of these horses, every single one of these 217 horses. We can do the same thing for jockey, sire, and dam. So we'll look at jockey here. It looks a little bit different. It's the past year dirt sprints. Albin Jimenez has 198 starters, 15% win percentage, 43% of the money. Medium win amount, which is $7, pretty good. And also we can see all of his horses as well from those 198. Similar thing for sire and dam, as we'll look at that really quick here. You can see first Samurai's record and all of his progeny. And you can see his dam as well, which could be even more useful because there's obviously a lot less starters there. And you can see how all 3 of her horses have performed. So we'll go back to Wesley Ward here. And it's the past 5 years, first-time starters in the dirt. That's helpful, but I want something more specific. And there's a few ways we can do that. We can either make a template, just modify this page, or actually modify which one of these categories show up first. So I'm going to show you how to modify it just for this page first. So we'll click Modify. And then we'll see all of these filters here. You can filter if just using today's horse, using specific tracks, and so on and so forth. But what I want to do, I want to see what Wesley Ward does with 2-year-old first-time starters at Keeneland. And I know the answer to that is he does very good, but I just want to see exactly how good it is. So we'll click on the track filter, include track list, and then we'll scroll down to Keeneland. Click OK. And we'll see Keeneland appears. I don't need the jockey. I do one on the dirt. Past 5 years. And we'll scroll all the way down here to H. 2-year-olds only. So now it's 2-year-olds only at Keeneland. And then we have 2 options here. We can either click Apply or save it as a template. So let's say I wanted to save this template as 2-year-old Keeneland. And then I can scroll down here and click Save As. And now in this drop-down menu on the left, we can go down and see 2-year-old Keeneland. And we'll see this was the specific thing we wanted. So it's past 5 years, first-time starters, 2-year-olds only, on the dirt, include track list, Keeneland. And now we'll see there's a much smaller sample here, only 52 starters instead of the over 200 number before. But his win percentage and the money percentage are higher. even though his ROI is fairly low. So he's winning 33% of the time and in the money 69% of the time. So I know he's doing really well. But I wanted to see how other trainers do in this race, in this exact situation. So to see that, all you do is simply click this Show All button on the top right-hand corner of the screen. And now we can see this exact set of filters for every single trainer in the race. So the next best one looks to be John Hancock with 23 starters, 4 wins, and 13 in the money. That's pretty decent. That may be a horse we want to look at in a minute. And then the same thing for Mark Casse. We'll see on the opposite end of the spectrum, Wayne Rice here with 20 starters and 0 wins. Maybe we want to avoid that horse. Same with Tommy Short as well. To go back, we simply click PPs and scroll back and click on the trainer name again. And here we are. And we'll see, because that wasn't our default template, it just goes back to the original here, but we can always click on this trainer 2-year-old Keeneland template. Now there's another way to change what appears here in this research default template. So you don't have to constantly be making templates or constantly be modifying the individual research default template. So the way to do that is we go back to the PPs tab, we'll click that, and then we'll scroll down and click Customize PPs. Then we scroll all the way to the bottom, to the very last tab here, and click the edit pencil next to where it says Individual Research Settings. And now we have a section here that looks very similar to the summary research settings, except you will notice that there are a lot more categories to choose from. So right now we have 3 filters set, so that means 3 of these will apply. So hypothetically, the past 5 years, class moves would be next, then days between starts would show after that. Those would be the 3 filters. However, let's say there's no class move. Let's say the horse is staying in the same level. Class moves wouldn't be counted, then it would be days between starts and then surface. So that was why when we saw Wesley Ward, the original thing was 5 years, first time starters on the dirt. So let's say I wanted to change this so that some other things were prioritized. So I like class moves up there, but I also want to move class up there as well. So we're gonna move class actually up to second. And then I also wanted to add a few more filters. I think what I have right now is a little bit too broad, so I'm actually gonna go up to 5 filters here. I'm gonna move age ahead of blinkers. I think that makes a bigger difference. The last thing I'm gonna do is move distance a little bit higher up here above age. So I kind of have all of my priorities here. I like all of this. When you scroll down here, you'll see there's a lot of options for filters and what will be shown within these categories here. So for example, with days between starts, right now all of these categories are selected. So first time starters, more than 180 days, 8 to 30 days, and some of these may not be important to you. So let's say second career start isn't a big deal to you. Maybe 8 to 30 day layoff isn't a big deal to you. That's pretty standard. We can check those if we wanted. Same sort of thing for all these other options here. And when we're done, we'll just go down and click Save and Apply. Now it'll take a second for the new settings to apply to the individual research, and we'll wait for this to load. And then click on the trainer name once it's loaded. So now we'll see in this same horse in the individual research default template, it's the past 5 years in maiden races, first time starters on the dirt and dirt sprints. So this was how to use and customize individual research within the Stats Race Lens. Have a great day, everybody.